Joker 2 confuses me. This is the first film in a while where I couldn't just jump straight into a review after seeing it. I had to really sit and try and formulate how I felt about it. And even now as I sit down to record, I'm not really quite sure what to say about it. I'm still at a loss for words. In order to start, I think I need to establish how I felt about the first Joker movie, and maybe that way it'll be easier to articulate why Joker 2 just didn't work for me. Okay, so quick recap. I thought Joker 1 was a great movie, probably my favorite from 2019. It was a character study about a very mentally ill man that was disguised behind a comic book IP, and I think that's brilliant. It wore its influences on its sleeves. It's very evident that Todd Phillips is a big fan of Martin Scorsese's work, particularly with Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. The crew behind it did their best to emulate the grungy look of 1970s cinema, and I think they excelled at it. I liked the movie so much that it made me want to go back and watch Taxi Driver for the first time and other movies from that era. Now, with that stuff said, I didn't really like Joker 2. When it was first announced that it was going to be a musical, I was excited. I didn't really think we needed a sequel, but with a wacky idea like that, I was interested. Plus, it had Lady Gaga, the former creative director of Polaroid, so it had to be good.
What the fuck does she know about cameras?
Over time, more and more news came out about the film, like how there wasn't a test screening and how the budget was $200 million, which is a considerable increase when you consider that the first film was just $55 million, but whatever. Joker 2 takes place 2 years after the first film. Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, is on trial for the various murders he committed in the first film. He ends up meeting and falling in love with Harleen Quinzel, another inmate at Arkham, and they form a connection. Arthur's delusions in this film take the form of these musical numbers. This is where my problem kinda starts because a lot of these musical portions are very hit or miss. I don't really think they go as far with this concept as they should have. A lot of these musical set pieces are either very tame in terms of spectacle or either don't do that good of a job in driving the story forward. It feels like sometimes the plot just kinda stops in its tracks to get a song off. I could argue, and maybe this is a hot take, but if you remove them from the film completely, there wouldn't be that much of a change. You could still get the same point across. Not to mention that Joaquin Phoenix's performance during these parts is just okay. He's vocally competent, but you can tell that this was a bit out of his comfort zone, especially when he's paired up with Lady Gaga out of all people. I think the cinematography is once again very beautiful. The film predominantly takes place in Arkham and in a courtroom. The Arkham Asylum in the first movie was almost dreamlike. It had a bunch of white and grayish interiors, while the Arkham Showcase in this movie is a lot more how would I picture that place to be. Very dark, very filthy interiors, and just an overall very dire kind of atmosphere, and I love it. If you came to this movie expecting Arthur to do more Joker-esque antics, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Arthur Fleck is not a criminal mastermind, he's not devising plans, he's not a guy that can lead other people. He's not the Joker persona people perceive him as. In reality, he is a very mentally disturbed, nihilistic man that acted on his intrusive thoughts. Therefore, he shouldn't be idolized or seen as a martyr. Once Arthur denounces his actions as Joker and wants to take accountability for them, he loses the love and support from his followers, and especially Harley. That's the idea the film is trying to get across. It's a good deconstruction of his character and the natural progression of where this guy should go. All of that stuff works, but it's within this 2-hour uneventful movie. It feels like an extended epilogue that takes away more from the first movie than it adds to it. If you somehow think this movie is worse than Morbius or Madam Web, then you're entitled to feel that way. I just think you're off your fucking rocker. I would much rather have a movie with some good ideas and poor execution than whatever slop Sony Pictures is cooking. In the comment section, tell me what you guys thought of Joker 2 and if it's worth the hate or do you genuinely like the movie. A lot of the reception has been mixed so far, so I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.